Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
No celebration props today. I don't know
Joy had me a
what
good old
happened.
time this weekend. Joy, you saw some of the pictures I was posting. Joy, had me a good old time. Had me some
I gotta
pancakes.
tell you,
Wait, we had some egomania going on?
no. Our friend Shannon here was treating himself, treat yourself weekend for Mr. Sharp, and he claims he's on this super clean, getting ready for 50 diet, but he was having some chicken wings and some pancakes,
Cinnamon rolls.
mashed.
Really?
Yeah. Because I already knew it was going to happen.
Things
I think
have
it's
never
fries in
passed
there.
these lips.
Yeah.
You realize that.
Victory has never passed
You realize
those lips either.
you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you are fat.
I've been
now.
eating victory. That's what I've been eating.
Yeah.
Because I'm victorious over here.
Well,
and will be again today.
I appreciate your humility because you are not throwing a parade over what you just saw.
Whoa.
It does not deserve a parade, as we are about to discuss.
What he did
Yeah.
deserves a monument.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Against the Pacers.
Yeah. Oh, now it's the Pacers.
Yeah.
Joy, the very Pacers that he apologized to last Monday. Those Pacers.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm done. I ain't gonna say no more about it.
So does the diet start today, or?
Yeah, you know, I'm back on it now. Ron, get right, Ron.
So you posted bad things that you were eating as opposed to all this clean stuff that you
He usually posts the clean stuff. I think everyone was getting on his case that he never splurges.
Because it was fraudulent.
No, it was not fraudulent.
Yes.
It was good.
Okay.
Let's get started. Let's start with LeBron. He had never played a Game 7 in the first round before yesterday, but improved to a perfect 13-0 in the first round after leading the Cavs to a 105-101 win. He finished with 45 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists in 43 minutes. LeBron left the game late in the third quarter with cramps and called it, quote, a little minor injury. But he finally got some help yesterday, especially from Tristan Thompson, who had 15 points, 10 rebounds, and a key block late in the fourth. And Kevin Love added 14 points. Let's listen to Victor Oladipo and LeBron after the game.
Felt like a Game 7. It was like, your mind is thinking like, okay, besides the two I've played in the finals, but you start thinking like, is this it? Could this be it? That's just human nature. And then the other side of my brain was like, let's go make something happen. Let's go. This is you here for.
Your thoughts of LeBron, 45, 9, 7.
Amazing. I mean, he did what he always does. It's not really shocking. He's the best in the world. That's what the best does. Now I got to work so I can get on that level.
Shannon, what was your takeaway from yesterday's game?
That man spoke truth.
Yeah, he's got to work to get on.
Whoa,
He's got a whole lot of work.
Whoa, Skip.
Like he needs to go find some guts.
Joy, hold on. Is it my turn? You want to? You go ahead.
No,
go
you
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I talk now?
I thought you opened the door.
No, ain't nobody open no door. It's not your turn yet.
Okay.
So let me have my moment.
All right.
What we saw yesterday was LeBron at his absolute best, and he needed every ounce. Everything that he gave them yesterday is what they've needed. And if you look at LeBron in the wins, 42 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. He won those games by an average margin of less than 4 points per game. So think about it. 42, 11, and 7. And they won 4 games by a grand total of 14 points. That's what it took. And we're talking today, and everybody's talking about Kevin Love gave them something. Kevin Love is a 5-time All-Star, and we're patting him on the back for scoring 14 points.
Who's talking about it? I don't know who the who are. Who? Everybody.
Did you not? So you listen.
I haven't even spoken yet.
You listen to the volume of the television. You know what was said. Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that, Skip. Because I know how you're going to come out here. Now, today, the Pacers are terrible.
Wait, he's putting words in my mouth before I speak.
All
That's
I'm
not
saying
legal.
I was told by someone very close to Mr. Skip Bayless that he owed the Indiana Pacers an apology because they had won Game 1 in Cleveland. I want to apologize right here and now to the Indiana Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers. But I knew this was going to happen as soon as LeBron took them out. Now that Victor Oladipo doesn't have what it takes. Now the Pacers aren't any good. All I know is this. When it comes to Game 7s, nobody scores more points than LeBron James. Not even Michael Jordan. But let me tell you what the LeBron...
How many Game 7s did he play?
Time out.
He never got to a Game 7 in the finals. Go ahead.
You can't get to a Game 7, Joe, if you're getting swept. How you get to a game 7, you getting swept?
Are you asking me about LeBron versus San
I'm
Antonio?
asking you about Michael Jordan when he got swept in the first round.
Oh, I was like,
So how do you get to a
finals.
game 7?
He never got to a finals.
What about the
game
Eastern?
7.
What about the Eastern Conference Finals?
Never got to a finals game 7.
What about?
Never got to a finals game 7. I only care about the finals.
Oh,
got
now
there 6 times and went 6 MVPs. Go ahead.
Now, so let me get this straight. A man plays 15 years. He goes to 6 finals. He wins them all. So the other 9 years don't matter. So how can someone be the greatest of all time if everything else they did outside of the finals does not matter?
Okay.
Exactly. That's my point.
Go ahead.
So you look at it in the totality of it and what he was asked to do. Nobody in the history of the game had to carry more of an onus game in and game out of LeBron James. Nobody had to shoulder the scoring load. Nobody had to shoulder the rebounding and the assist load, facilitating. And early in his career, say the first 12 years of his career, played the type of defense that he played. No one in the history of the game had that kind of onus. And for him to do it, to come out there with, still, Joy, got to go back. Only 2 men have ever been able to do it. I went back to 1964. Karl Malone in 1999 and LeBron James. Only teammates to win a series in which no other guy scored 20 points. They didn't have a Kevin Love makes $22 million and he didn't give you 12 points a game. Tristan had to play like this, Joy. Do you think he want to go home for the summer and have to deal with what's waiting for him? He know he had to play hard. He had to. Because, boy, he can't go home right now with what's going on there.
You're still taking shots
I
at
ain't
him
taking no
after
shot.
he saved your season.
No.
He saved you, and you're still trying to ridicule him for what happened off the court.
LeBron-
How about what happened on the court when he got a chance? What
LeBron
happened?
saved him.
Oh.
LeBron, the one that went to T. Lewis, say, I want to ride with the guy. He says, I want to rise or I want to fall with the guys that have been there with me before.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's your turn. Take it away.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you've been interrupting the whole while, so go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Let's get to the bottom line that you conveniently swept under your little rug over there.
What
You swept all your props today, which you did not pull out, which I'm impressed by. But here's the bottom line. We witnessed a very weird and very amazing development yesterday in that basketball game. With a minute left in the third quarter, you did not even mention this. LeBron James, the quote-unquote best player on the planet, the face of the NBA, checked out. He took himself out of the game and he walked up the tunnel to the locker room. And at that point, the whole season was teetering because they were up only 1 point. Their 12-point halftime lead had dwindled steadily down as we saw game after game against the Pacers in this series. It dwindled all the way down to 1 point with a minute left in the third quarter. And it looked like, with the face of the franchise and the league going to the locker room, that the face of the league was about to be out of the playoffs. It felt dire to me. It felt like, the Cavaliers are in trouble because what do I hear day after day after day on this show? LeBron James has no help. And what happened, Mr. Sharp? All of a sudden, when LeBron James came back with 8:25 left, the Cavs were up 8 points. Can you imagine? And as soon as he stepped on the floor, about 30 seconds transpired, and they were up 12. And I would say the game was effectively won yesterday, not by LeBron James, because he was suddenly missing in action. It was won by all the Cavaliers not named LeBron James, by the non-LeBrons. God saved the king, or maybe Kevin Love saved the king, because all you needed was love, right? Yesterday, and you dismissed him and said, everybody's talking about Kevin Love, but what did he do during that stretch? Kevin Love, an all-star, as you point out,
5 times.
hit 2 threes and a mid-range jump shot. 3, 6, 8. We scored 8 points in that stretch. And George Hill, who the spur came out in him because he's played in some big games in his life, he hit 2 free throws, and Jeff Green hit 2 free throws. And all of a sudden, LeBron looks up, and he's back, and they're up 12, and the game is over. So what just had happened, the door was opened by the absence of the king, and Victor Oladipo in that same stretch with the king gone How many shots did he take, Mr. Sharp? He took none. He registered nothing in the box score. Victor Oladipo also went missing in action for that stretch from the 1 minute mark of the third quarter to the 8:25 mark of the fourth quarter. There's no Victor Oladipo to be found. So all of a sudden, once again, we saw this again and again in this series, LeBron opened the door and Oladipo and company could not run through that door. So they proved they can compete with the Kings team. They can hang in with the Kings team. They can come back on the Kings team. But when it was time, when the door is swung wide open, they can't dethrone the King. Victor Oladipo is a number 2. He's not a number 1. He's not a superstar.
Not yet, anyway.
He's a quasi-star. I guess he showed flashes of stardom this year. He had his breakout year. But the only hopes they had were in game 1, obviously, and then in game 6.
They won game 1.
That's what I'm saying. But the hopes came when Oladipo went off for 32 in game 1, including 6 of 9 threes. And then what happened Friday night, and a shock to me, because I thought LeBron would just slam the door. He had a triple-double. And they won by, 34 points? They led by 36 in that game. So if Oladipo would rise and shine and play star basketball, I'm not even saying superstar, just star basketball,
so what would you,
they could win. So what happened to LeBron in this stretch?
I'm trying to figure out, hold on.
How did they win without the King?
Hold on. You keep saying Oladipo, if he'd rose and shine. He had 30, 12, and 6, and he was +1.
Okay, but this is the stretch. This is when the door is wide open. Is LeBron on the court, Mr. Sharp? No, he's in the locker room. So let's get to what happened. Why is everybody giving him a pass? He checked out with his team teetering. What happened? Well, I got to go back to game 1 of 2014. Remember that finals? Remember what happened at San Antonio? Quote unquote, the air conditioning broke. I don't know what happened.
You know what happened? Because why did they have fans and everybody see that the air conditioning didn't break?
I don't know.
Every fan.
No, I mean it broke.
Oh,
but there were suggestions on the former show I was on.
You just suggested it.
Yeah.
You just suggested it. The air conditioner supposedly had broke. That's
actually,
what you said.
DJ Khaled suggested it on my former show.
No,
he said the streets told him that it was sabotaged. But I think the air conditioning just broke. There was some failure from the electric company that supplied the Spurs
But that's
arena.
not what you just said. You said allegedly.
Okay, so it broke.
Okay.
So the point is, I don't even know how hot it really was because only one player on the court cramped, and it was LeBron James in the fourth quarter. So he went out with 7:31 left in that game. This is game 1 of the 2014 finals, and his team was up by 2. But that night, they couldn't save the King. That night, he needed help from Bosh or D. Wade or somebody to step up and save the day, at least stem the tide. And nobody did because the Spurs went on a run. When he came back, it was actually 94-90 Spurs. So it went from heat up 2 to down 4. So he came back in, and he did manage to make a layup, but he didn't last much longer because 34 seconds later, he's limping and he's grimacing and he's saying he cramped and he took himself out.
Okay.
So remember, this is the best conditioned player in all of basketball. This is the man who is the smartest, who has the highest IQ when it comes to nutrition and hydration. And he cramped.
Yeah.
And so I was dumbfounded by that because I have too much respect for LeBron. So I've told you before, I have one source way inside the Heat who's really good and has never steered me wrong. So the next day I called that source and I said, what happened to LeBron? And he said, well, I got to tell you, our Heat medical staff has found that LeBron, when the stress is highest, his body will lock up. And they don't even consider it cramping, or they didn't at that point. They just said he tightens up and he will cramp, not because of lack of hydration, just the stress, just he'll seize up with it, and that was a high-stress moment for LeBron. They lost game 1. He did come back and play game 2. They played well in game 2, but you know what happened the rest of the way. They got blown out by the Spurs by a record finals margin. So I wrote that for ESPN.com so you can look it up, and I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's psychological or physical with LeBron, but it was happening.
No. You said the source inside the Heat.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what the source said.
No. So what you're saying, it's psychological. You don't say it's about physiological. You're saying that.
I'm just telling you what my source told me. You can look it up. Go read it.
Okay.
Go read it. You can read the quote in my piece. I wrote it 2 days later for ESPN.com. So I don't know, but something happened again. That was some strange business.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give him a pass because he's the best player in the game, and he checked out on his team, and this time he wasn't even limping. He just went to the locker room, and when he returned, what was the score? They quickly went up 12, so he got taken off the hook. Was he trying to build an excuse in? Was he just crumbling mentally? I don't know, Shannon, but something was going on with your man. I don't see that from great players. Do you remember Michael Jordan checking out of a game?
Let me tell you about this.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, Joy, but what I know about, I know a hell of a lot about. Let me tell you how the body works. And I don't need no doctor to tell me, because I'm telling you how Shannon Sharp's body works.
Yeah.
I once in a practice, in a training camp practice, lost 13 pounds in 2 hours and 5 minutes.
It happens
There's a reason why heavyweight fighters do not throw as many punches as fighters in the smaller categories. You know why, Skip? Because it requires a lot of oxygen to fuel muscle.
Who played the most minutes in the league? Who played the most this year? Help me out.
You're going to let me talk, or you're going to talk the whole time? We'll go ahead.
He played the most minutes in the league. Did you see him cramp one time the whole year? One time. One time. You remember him cramping? I don't. Take it away.
How many games did he play? How many games did he play 42 minutes straight in the course of 2 weeks?
Probably a bunch. Knowing him, he's playing every game. Come on.
Yeah, be real.
Huh?
Be real.
I'm being totally real.
How many
These
games?
other guys are playing high minutes too.
No, they're not.
No, nobody's cramping. Nobody cramped. Nobody cramped.
Hold on, time out.
The air conditioning didn't break.
How many of LeBron's teammates played 40-plus minutes in this series?
You believe he cramped?
Yes, I believe he
I
cramped.
didn't even see him limping yesterday.
Let me ask you a question.
Limp?
Skip, let me ask me a question. Let me ask you a question. How many 160-pound marathon runners you see?
I ran 10 at 100.
You do it casually.
Yeah. I don't do it casually. I was breaking 3 hours. You can look it up. I had a 247.
Are you trying to win the race?
No, I came close when I ran 247.
Come close to what?
To winning that race. I was top 10 at Houston. Look it up.
No.
Houston wins marathon. Look it up.
You were the top 10 maybe in your category.
No, I was in the whole race.
First of all, there were 40 Kenyans that was already on the plane going back home by the time you finished.
Well, there weren't any Kenyans.
But that's another here nor there, Skip. You know physiologically how it works. The more in distance is required, the smaller the human being wants to be. There's a reason why marathon runners are getting smaller and smaller. You know that. Why, Skip? Because it requires a lot of oxygen to fuel muscle.
It's just physics. You have to carry that much weight, 26.2 miles.
Thank you.
While running 5-minute miles.
So, Joe, I'm glad he brought that up. So you're asking a man like LeBron James, that's 6'9", weighs 270 pounds, to do what he does over the course of 45-plus minutes, game in and game out, and he's not supposed to cramp. Name the guy that's his size that's ever had that was required to carry the load that LeBron James has. I'm not talking about a 205 Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan never had to worry about rebounding. He had Dennis Rodman and Cartwright. He never had to worry about facilitating the offense.
Did you ever see him cramp during the year?
Skip, he weighs 205.
Who? No, I'm talking about LeBron. Did he cramp?
Skip, he's playing 43, 44 minutes per night, and he's doing what he... You heard what Kyle Korver said? Kyle Korver said Allen Iverson told him, do you know how much energy it takes to get up 30 shots? Well, the man shooting 25. Well, not only is he shooting 25, he's grabbing your double-digit rebound. If Allen Iverson said it takes a lot of energy and effort to get up 30 shots, when's the last time Allen Iverson had 13 rebounds in a game?
Well, like Allen Iverson, LeBron rested a lot on defense, so you can't give him a two-way player.
Ask Victor Oladipo, did he rest in Game 5 on defense?
Game 5?
Yeah. Bam! When he pinned it to the backboard. Was he rested?
Was he rested? That up? How dare you?
Was he resting?
It was goaltending.
Was he resting?
He goaltended.
Was he resting?
Was it a goaltend?
I don't know what it was.
You don't know what it was?
We got
you're
the
just
dub.
wrong. You
we
said
got
it wasn't.
the dub.
The NBA said it was goaltending.
All I know, in Game 7, who had the highest scoring average? In elimination games, who have the highest scoring average? Because we know Michael Jordan was eliminated.
So what happened when he went out? Just help me out. Was the game won by somebody not named LeBron James?
Hold up, Skip. You remember when Indiana went on that run, and they would look like they were about to seize momentum. Can you tell the people at home how many three-pointers LeBron hit in the third quarter?
Well, they're only up one when he was checked out. They're only up 1 point. I don't care what happened. They're only up 1 point. That's all I know, and that's all I care about. Season is teetering, and here come the Pacers again.
So let me ask you a question. If he doesn't have 26 points on 11 of 16 shooting in the first half, what are we talking about? oh, you get an opportunity to come back here.
Okay.
See, it bothers you that you can't say anything. So you got to go back to 2014 and him cramping. Let's talk about this.
You won't answer my question.
What?
What happened when he checked out? What happened?
He finally got a little support from his teammates.
A little?
So LeBron James.
Was that not the game? Was that not the game?
You know what I'm starting to see? This is what I'm starting to see. And maybe it's just me. LeBron James is the only one allowed to have teammates. Everybody else can have teammates.
Well, you always tell me he doesn't have enough help.
So
That's some huge help.
So let me ask you.
So the Pacers at full strength had the door swing wide open. There's no best player on the planet. And what happened? What happened?
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, just for me and for people at home, can you tell me the people on LeBron's roster that's better than Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman?
Okay, but you're just changing the subject. Keep it on yesterday. We'll talk about that
Okay,
later.
he won.
Okay.
Game 7, over. 40 is you. I'm glad you said
What
that.
happened in that stretch?
45.
You're just ignoring what happened.
I love how
Kevin Love just took the game over.
I love how you do that, Skip.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just showing you.
Talk
From
about
1 minute left in the third to 8:25 in the fourth, the whole game swings wildly to the Cavaliers' favor. What happened?
Oh, so I love
The whole game
I
changed.
love how you take a 1 minute stretch in a 48-minute ball game.
No, I didn't say a 1 minute.
That's what you did. You just
No,
said
I
that.
said 1 minute left in the third to 8:25 in the fourth. That's how long LeBron missed.
Yeah.
That's close to 5 full minutes of basketball, right? And what happened in that stretch? Victor Oladipo does not register in the box score. He doesn't have an assist, a rebound, a shot taken. He's just nowhere to be seen. And Kevin Love makes two threes and one step.
And I think, didn't Victor Oladipo start the fourth quarter on the bench?
Just barely, but he came in at the 10:25 mark.
Okay.
So he played down the
So
stretch.
basically
at the end of the
so
third.
basically over a 2 minute stretch, he didn't have a point of
Well,
rebound
I mean,
or
this
assist.
is where you just take the game over, man. They don't have their guy.
Oh, kind of like LeBron did for this series?
Well, no, you're still missing. You're dodging the bullet here because you're not telling me why they won the game. This is where the game turned.
So hold on, Skip, are you going to sit here on national
wait a
television
second.
and say they won the game because of Kevin Love?
I just said it. I mean, they were up 1, and all of a sudden, when he comes back, they're up 12. How do you explain that?
So
Is that not the game?
Kevin Love had 8 points in the fourth quarter. 8 points in the fourth quarter. He finished with 14 in the game. So up until that point, he had 6 points, and they had a 1 point lead. Can you tell me how, Skip? How did they get a 1 point lead with Kevin Love having 6 points? You won't
We had
answer the
8
question.
points in this stretch. I just explained it. And George Hill made 2 free throws, and Jeff Green made 2 free throws. And the Pacers could not scratch.
I'm asking you a
The
simple
Pacers
question.
had their chance, and Kevin Love slammed the door in their
Up
face
un-
with no
Up
LeBron.
until that point.
You
So
just
from-
have to acknowledge it.
so-
You have to accept it. You have
so
to own it
for
today.
5 minutes-
Kevin Love won this game. He just won it.
Skip,
Like
Skip.
LeBron said afterwards, we need to split the game ball between Kevin Love and George Hill. Actually, you need to give the game ball to Kevin Love. He just took the game over right before your very eyes. Well, how do you explain going from up 1 to up 12 and then you're never threatened again? It's just,
Skip,
it happened.
Skip, they weren't threatened again?
No, heck no.
So the game never got close again.
Nope.
The game wasn't 4 points.
No.
The game wasn't 5 points.
There was never any threat. I mean, Tristan had the big block at the end, but that was an 8-point game at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would have cut it to 6.
Yeah.
Tristan
For you
had
to
a
sit-
lot
for-
to do with the big picture of
Or
the
you
game.
to sit over there after a man had 45 points.
No, he did. It
9
was
and
great.
7,
But again,
4 steals.
Nate McMillan stuck right to his game plan that he stuck with from game 1.
And it cost him.
I'm going to let LeBron have his.
And he did it.
And I'm going to try to limit the production of everybody
And he
else.
did.
And it's still, he had him right where he wanted him. He even had LeBron checking out of the game. And it's a 1-point game at the end of 3 quarters. Actually, they made it a 2-point game at the end of 3 quarters.
Yeah.
So, but when LeBron checked out, it's a 1-point game. Is that not a beautiful thing? So you've got LeBron out of the game in Game 7 in his house, and you have a chance to go win it right now, and you don't.
We got to leave it there.